Good evening and welcome to Drakkenheim. This is our weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running the campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Sebastian Crow, the half-elf shadow sorcerer. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis, playing Veo Senya, the Tabaxi Gloomstalker Ranger.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Pluto Jackson, the Human Battlemaster.
And thank you for joining us once again here on the show. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, we are the Dungeon Dudes, and we post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. We do many other really exciting things, though, don't we, Kelly?
We do a lot. What are we looking at today? Or this week?
This week? What is coming this week?
We're doing a look at dwarves in the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
And actually, we had a lot of fun with that episode.
Yeah.
I had to cut out a lot because we just rambled for like 8 hours about our own imaginations and what dwarves might be in our worlds. And then I realized that we had like 2 hours of content. So that was fun. But it's a fun episode.
Nice.
Yeah, and last week, if you haven't checked it already, we did our monster tactics on dragons.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I really liked that one.
Some people commented and were like, I can't wait to murder all my players. And I'm like, are we doing a good job or are we making it a lot harder for players out there? We'll see. You can also join us Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube afterwards.
And that's at youtube.com/dungeondudes. So the Twitch has the underscore, but the YouTube doesn't.
Yeah, because we're not consistent with that.
No, we're not.
But that's because we've also launched it on podcast.
Indeed. We are very pleased to announce that Dungeons & Drakkenheim is now available as an audio-only podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. We are catching up the podcast to the campaign. Kyle has been putting out many, many episodes a week for your listening pleasure. So if you either have not caught up on the show yet and want to take it with you, or are going to dive in for the very first time, consider enjoying it on those listening platforms.
Woo.
This week's episode of Dungeons of Drakkenheim has been sponsored by our great friends at Dimension 20. We're spreading the news that Brennan Lee Mulligan and a team of veteran college humor comedians are back for season 3 of their D&D live play series, The Unsleeping City. If you love exploring the dark, mysterious underbelly of a fantastic city, and I know you do because you were watching our show, it is really worth checking out the first few episodes of their campaign on the Dimension 20 YouTube channel, because it really is a wonderful example of just how far you can adapt the rules of D&D 5e into a modern magical setting. Brandon's campaign is set in a magical New York. It's very cool. I'm really blown away by Brandon's descriptive style, and it really was a reminder to me watching him DM how much description and like using your words to set the stage really creates that atmosphere and mood. So I hope I can do a good job as well.
You're all right.
Yeah. You can watch the full series and much more by subscribing at dropout.tv. And you can also get 50% off the first month by using the code ROLL50. Follow the links in the description below for more information. And now let's return to the ruins.
Drakkenheim is no more. Struck by a falling star, the city bathed in eldritch fire on that woeful eve. The tumultuous aftermath brought chaos, families torn asunder, and a kingdom shattered. 15 years later, monsters stalk the haunted streets of Drakkenheim. Caught amidst rival factions struggling to rule the rubble, 3 unlikely partners venture forth into the crumbling city in search of riches, renown, and revenge.
Welcome to the ruins of Drakkenheim. As a column of soldiers, knights, fanatics, warriors, mages, and more shuffle out of the abandoned great cathedral of St. Vitruvio, the light at its hearth, the altar at the center of it, still unlit, the great claw of the dragon, Argonath, resting in the brazier, unlit. As our heroes retreat, now the new Lord Commander, Veo Senya, back to the clock tower of Drakkenheim with the now Lieutenant Commander, Elias Drexel, and Queen Lenore, and the representatives of the Amethyst Academy, where you make camp for the night before progressing back to your next objective in the city of Drakkenheim. As you part ways, looking out as the Paladins and the Knight Captain Theodore Marshall and Ophelia Reed look with a mournful gaze at the decisions made in the chamber, the regret on Elias Drexel's face at being exposed by the Queen of Thieves, and the grim determination in the face of Lucretia Matthias and the followers of the Falling Fire as they continue to eye the Grand Cathedral, as all shuffle out and go their separate ways. You progress with a skeleton crew of hooded lanterns and the watchful thud of Eldrick Runeweaver's Shield Guardian, part of your, and River's flaming sword-bearing bodyguard. You head back to the clock tower. Not this one.
No, I know.
Remember, River's golden armored bodyguard
Yeah.
Got her own
also
robot.
has a flaming sword.
They both have flaming swords. Is it Ignatius?
And
too?
I'm your bodyguard,
Are you-
Warlord Veo.
Warlord.
You'll get used to it.
Oh.
You make camp at the clock tower, which has now become a makeshift barracks, really, at the ground level, given how many hooded lanterns are now using it as a staging ground for their own operations. Was there anything you'd like to do before you pass the night?
I want to go to the top of the
I was
tower,
going to say, I want to go upstairs.
and I want to watch the different factions as they move through the city,
Yeah. That's kind of...
and I gaze longingly.
I find a snack.
As night descends on the city, of course, from the top of the clock tower, gazing down into the city streets and looking out across Drakkenheim, the haze and the mist fills through the streets, and you can see the spires and rooftops and steeples of the various buildings poking through the fog that hangs over the city, out as far as the city walls, which almost contain this fog like a bowl of pea soup. From the clock tower, you can see the lights still shining at Temple Gate and at the barracks at Shepherd's Gate, and the various lights that dot the abbey or the asylum, rather, of St. Selena's across from the crater. And, of course, the looming shadow of both Castle Draken and the great tower of the Amethyst Academy, which hang highest over the city itself. Judging by the progression of the factions, Pluto, if you can give me a perception check. You've got to really squint and look out to see.
I'm just checking because I think, yeah, didn't help too much, but I got a 12.
Surveying out from the clock tower, you can see that there's still quite a lot of activity around Temple Gate, and you manage to spy a procession going across Champion's Bridge.
That's the bridge where we murdered those minotaurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know landmarks in the city. It's where I've killed certain things.
Coming into the city or out?
The procession is heading from the north to the south.
Okay.
So the opposite direction. So
They're heading towards
essentially,
like the meteor
they're heading towards the crater. Yeah.
Okay.
or the crater.
I'm assuming that's the Falling Fire?
Is it look like the falling fire or the paladins?
It's the falling fire. You can see by the glint of the torches and pitchforks.
Classic. Does anybody else feel a
Those
little weird
weirdos.
that we fought our way into the middle of the city, lost so many people, and then didn't light that brazier?
Well, I can still go light it, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like, we could just light bones on fire, but
I feel
I
like
don't think we
think it
know
really
the
works
other
that
parts
way.
of it. Yeah.
yeah, I think there was more to it than that.
I think if the paladins really wanted it lit, they would have worked with us. Or they would have done it.
Yeah, they seemed really angry about magic users.
We didn't make the decision for them not to. We just put it out there and they decided they didn't want to.
We tried to ask them to join a three-way deal, and they were like, nah, magic users, meh.
Yeah. We put it out there. The Amethyst Academy was willing to work, and I hope you guys understand that decision that I made.
Oh, I understand it.
I'm with you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you
follow
for your
you.
support. Because
Great leader.
yes, better than War Master.
Warlord.
But really, I value both of your opinions over anybody's in the city. So I hope you'll help me in my new role as Lord Commander, in order to make sure that our vision, what we decided together, our goals happen.
Do you want to promote us? We could be like captains or lieutenants.
Do you want to be in the Hooded Lanterns, or do you want to be more free flowing?
I'm still good with being Sebastian Crow.
As long as they listen to me. As long as they know to listen.
Hello, my name is Hooded Lantern.
They do.
No,
They should.
don't like it.
If not, send them my way.
Yeah, you'll put them in line.
I will.
No. Help,
I
they're not
won't
listening to
give
me.
them their afternoon snack. That'll show them.
Already, when you arrive at the clock tower, the few hooded lanterns that were still stationed there, Elias Drexel gives them the debrief on what has happened. And they are and several of the hooded lanterns assemble at the base level of the clock tower to salute and acknowledge you as the new Lord Commander.
So nice.
And
Thank you.
they
Not for you.
and it basically consists of they salute, they place their hands on their hearts, and they reaffirm their dedication to the throne of Westermar and the city of Drakkenheim, as long as they still draw breath.
And I do the same, and I say, I appreciate your support, but we're all here to support each other. We're here to make sure that the throne survives and that Drakkenheim can be a city once more that we are proud to live in as normal people. Appreciate it.
I use minor illusion to make somebody in the back row go, "Yay, new Lord Commander!" And then the sound of clapping.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
There's a weary cheer that rises up from the hooded lanterns, and a fair amount of confusion as well amongst them. But the discussions through the night bring them up to speed on what has happened.
Cool.
And many of them are shocked by it, but the tales of Veo's exploits and skill have risen through the ranks, and so to hear of another capable warrior now being the leader of the Hooded Lanterns, and the fact that and there's a few people also that now that they've heard well, actually that's a good question. Do you want to explain to the soldiers of the Hooded Lanterns why Elias Drexel has been removed as Lord Commander?
I want to explain that it was for a reason from his past, and we need no more discuss it.
Okay.
It is for a good reason, and the Queen made her decision to make a change in command. That doesn't mean that he is not one of us and that he is not part of the city as an important leader within the community. He offers much wisdom and experience, but we also need new direction and are ready to move forward as a new Hooded Lanterns.
Later in the evening, Elias Drexel does come up to you, Veo, and he says, I really appreciate that you didn't tell the soldiers what I did. Some of them know. Some of them were part of it.
Like I said, it's in the past, and as long as you are solid in your conscience of what your role is in the city, then we can move forward as partners in this.
I stand beside you.
Good.
I plan to spend my life faithfully in the service of the throne and the city.
As do I. So we are aligned on this.
There's a matter, though, that we should think about. Without the support of the Silver Order, and I respect your decision, the Knight Captain and his men were capable soldiers. Soldiers that we needed. With the wounded, the dead, and the weary, we don't have enough soldiers to hold on to what we've secured.
Sometimes, in order to go ahead, we got to take a few steps back.
I agree.
We need to make sure that we're securing what we had. And if the soldiers of the hooded, no, sorry.
Silver Order.
the shiny guys, if they're going to make trouble in the city, then we need to make sure that our positions that we do have are fortified.
I'll send some scouts to keep an eye on them and find out what their movements are. As it is, though, we can maintain our outpost here at the clock tower. But if we want to maintain this place, as well as keep an eye on the cathedral and Temple Gate, we're going to be spread far too thin. Do you want me to have everyone pull back to the barracks?
I think that'd be the wisest choice now. And we can evaluate our position, we can do some scouting, we can do what we do best and figure out how the city's going to move now that the pieces have been played on the board. I think we're not on disfriendly terms with the Paladins, but that doesn't mean they're going to stay friendly with us based on what happens, I think, with the cathedral. So I think the best thing we can do is sit and watch and play our cards when they're meant to be played. Let's fortify the clock tower, our place in the city, where we can at least make some leeway, fortify the barracks, and we'll keep an eye on the gate.
Okay. I'll send a runner, and we'll get that going tonight.
Sounds good.
Is Eldrick with us as well?
Yep. And River. And the Queen.
Can I talk to the two, Eldrick and River?
Yep.
All right. I wanted to... Was I privy to this conversation at all between the Lord Commander?
I think we were...
He approached Veo privately.
Okay.
But Veo can bring you up to speed if she wants to.
Done.
I will.
So then I want to approach Eldrick and River and just... our next mission is going to be to take the Amethyst Academy tower. If we can secure that tower, that gives us a way to push forward and re-secure parts of the city, right? We're not going to lose everything we just fought for. We might lose the cathedral, I imagine, but we did a lot of cleaning up.
Make no mistake, the Tower of the Amethyst Academy is the single most precious and powerful resource in this entire city. Next, of course, to the Delirium itself. The Tower of the Amethyst Academy has stood here before even the Amethyst Academy was formed. It is an ancient building. It was built even before the castle, and it has stood for hundreds of years. The knowledge and resources that we will be able to bring back once we have secured it will give us every advantage that we need.
So you don't think there's any loss in the Silver Order leaving us now? You do have to understand that they were great knights and soldiers that were fighting on our side.
They were.
We've taken a step backwards by letting them go, and I hope we made the right decision. I hope you know I made that decision because I trust you.
You understand, of course, that one of the most important resources that we have not had, part of the reason why we have not been able to make a foothold here in Drakkenheim as the Academy individually, is because something has happened to the teleportation circle that is located in the Academy Tower. Once that teleportation circle is reactivated, we will be able to bring resources from all the other towers across the entire continent to Drakkenheim.
I just hope the teleportation circle wasn't on one of the floors that's missing.
Me too.
Question for the uninitiated.
Were you here the whole time?
I'll save it.
No. Go ahead. You were standing nearby and I just didn't pay attention.
I step up. If that teleportation circle gets active, could things in the tower also go all around the world?
Our teleportation circles require a mage of significant power to be able to open the gateway from that location to the circle. They are destination points and landing pads. They do not necessarily connect things outwardly that would not be able to. The problem is, and the Academy has known this for quite some time, is that the haze has a, shall we say, unpredictable effect on teleportation magic over long distances. About 14 years ago, when this disaster first occurred, a survey team attempted to teleport into the tower. If you can find what's left of them, we would be very interested to know what happened.
I'll see what we can find. In the morning, I am going to go just make sure my family's okay.
In the time since, others who have attempted to teleport to the circle, who still know the code to teleport into that circle, have found themselves teleported outside the city. They have found themselves on the other side of the world, in a different tower entirely, and other more unfortunate ones found themselves rebounded to locations within the haze itself. Hence, it has been an unreliable and dangerous method of traveling into the city, and we don't know why. We won't know why until we secure the circle again. That is but one of many important resources that you will be responsible for when you head back into the Academy Tower.
Should I try not to blow things up when I'm in there?
The Academy Towers have withstood the unfortunate experimentations of mages far more foolish than yourself, Sebastian.
There can't be that many. But thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I hope we made the right
said,
choice.
We can discuss this more, but you need to understand that there are secrets in the Academy Tower that should not get out into the world at large.
If there's anything I'm good at, it's not telling people secrets.
And for your companions, it is very important that you focus on the objective at hand when you are in that tower, and don't get distracted by things like the libraries and the workshops and the laboratories and the vaults.
The three of us are very focused. We rarely get sidetracked. We set out to do missions, and we do them flawlessly.
River rolls her eyes and laughs.
I was half paying
says,
attention.
I'm sure we can count on you.
Guys, we can't screw this one up. I'm under a lot of pressure
We'll
here from the
discuss
boss.
more as we prepare. The Academy has sent us a few other resources that will help us secure the tower that we can turn over to you.
A bomb? Not a bomb.
You know what? Don't give us a bomb.
We screwed up with the last bomb, but I promise if you gave us another bomb, we wouldn't lose it.
Honestly, if we get another bomb, the Queen of Thieves is just going to show up and be like, give me that bomb. And we're going to be
and then we'll just turn it on.
And die.
And get
My
her.
friends,
I
want you to understand that I'm not entirely disappointed with what happened with that bomb. When we gave you that bomb, we told you to let chaos reign in the city. And what greater agent of chaos exists in this city than the Queen of Thieves? I would say, and the council agrees, that in a funny way, you exceeded expectations.
Like I said, laser focus,
Super
100%
focused,
guarantee.
part of the plan.
The Queen of Thieves thinks herself to be a brilliant plotter and a master of politics. But she has a thing or two to learn about the Amethyst Academy.
I like it. I feel good.
Well, let's
What's
collect
the
our reward.
worst that could happen?
Oh no.
All right, is it time for a nappy nap?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Totally nailed it.
You guys can have a nappy nap here if you want. I mean, you've already set up camp. I assume you're staying the night.
Yep, they do.
We'll be upstairs.
We sleep in the same room.
In the bed.
We share a large bed upstairs.
We're just more comfortable that way.
Dibs
it's,
middle.
It's just how it's always worked.
I'll
with them.
curl up at the end of the bed.
All right. With that, morning comes. And you begin to set out. Eldrick and River will journey with you towards Emberwood Village, which is your next destination, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to make sure that
The crows are okay.
Papa Carrot Top and the rest of the
I'm
Redhead fams.
I'm
good.
assuming they are, because it wasn't the queen that said that. It was either the Knight Commander or the Lord Commander had said, what makes you think that they wouldn't go after your family? Which is really a freaky thing to hear.
Yeah.
The Lieutenant Commander will take a few soldiers and the Queen back to the barracks as well. Yep.
Fortify the
The
position.
Queen Lenore herself is extremely distraught. And she has not said much since some of the revelations earlier about the fact that her daughters are still missing and at large. But she's very quiet, and she often has her hands against her head, kind of. And you can hear her muttering under her breath, I need to remember. I need to remember.
Do we still have the photos?
We still have all of the documents. We still have
The sealed will.
the sealed will, the family tree, the photos. We have a lot of very important documents.
Evidence. Didn't we have a diary too?
Yeah.
The wedding photo of her son, I want to take that and give it to her and just say, remember, milady, there is always still hope for the future. And I hand it to her.
Thank you, Veo. You can't see her face under the mask, so it's difficult to read the expression, but it seems like her voice breaks at the end of the sentence.
We're off to make sure that our next move is going to be the most beneficial for Drakkenheim. Do you have enough of the potion to sustain you?
I do.
Okay. We'll be off. And I take a large bow.
Good hunting, Lord Commander.
And I do the salute.
Which route are you going to take back to Emberwood Village?
Let's try.
Oh yeah.
I'd say let's go out the barracks gate and then
You want to
trek
do
along the
the
outside.
long way around?
Yeah.
I think we might have to.
Not trusting the...
I don't trust the other gate. Unless you think we should go there. I think we need to get there fast.
I would like to get there fast. I'm pretty
I
concerned.
guess we can skirt by the outside of the... Like, stay along the wall and skirt by the outside of the other gate to take a look.
We still own Champion's Way.
Yeah, we could go through Champion's
we?
Way, follow the
think so.
falling fire
Or is that... Well, we'll see.
people.
Right.
And just
Last I
go
heard,
back
we
there.
could move
Well,
through.
Champion's Gate is still held by the followers of the Falling Fire, and you need to travel through the crater.
Oh, right. It was Temple Gate that we...
Sorry,
Yeah.
Temple Gate.
Well, we could try leaving through Temple Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our
Okay.
fastest way. We'll see if they let us through.
Then we gotta backtrack.
You head through the mist-riddled streets of Drakkenheim, which are quieter than they ever have been before. There are still, once in a while, you catch a glimpse of a scattered knoll, and you can see through the streets that Veo, as you lead the group through, you catch more glimpses of ratlings along the streets than you ever have before, feasting on what corpses they can find from the carnage of the past couple days.
Oh, we got rid of one vermin and now another's overpopulating.
I mean, at least we know them.
I look at one of the rats. I'm like, hello, ratling. Oh, they don't seem as friendly as usual.
And I back.
Yeah.
Very lordly.
There are
lordly.
many of the rat folk
I'm a lord of the
in
streets.
Drakkenheim, and probably many more than just the ones that follow the so-called rat prince.
I'm gonna have to convert them.
Expand his kingdom?
Yeah.
But
Maybe not. I don't know.
as you head back through the city streets towards Temple Gate and along Temple Row from the market, you can see as you approach Temple Gate that the banners of the Silver Order fly over the gates.
I'm not surprised by this.
Our old pals.
I mean, yeah, we're still friends, right?
We're still on good terms.
So, I hope we're not on bad terms, but we're not on great terms. We did pull our forces back, though, to the other gate. So, I mean, hopefully they'll let us through.
Let's give him a hi. How are you?
Don't worry, guys. I have a plan. I step forward and I yell, "Can we go through?
Hello!
It's Sebastian Crow."
Coming up from the ramparts, as you approach closer, you can see that they've set up several tents and whatnot inside the city walls, and from the towers of the gatehouse, one of the paladins looks down and says, "I recognize you three, and the other friends you got with you. You can come out this way, but you can't come back in."
Why not?
Is it an emergency exit?
Orders are orders.
I mean, that's just mean. We have other ways into the city. You're basically just saying that we can't use the front door and we have to go and use the back door,
Or
And
the side door.
make us walk even further.
You're fine to risk it however you want, but the not captain's orders say the Silver Order will let anyone out, but nobody in.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's not biased.
I mean, we can get out that way, I
Maybe
guess.
he's just like, it's like a blanket. Like, I don't feel attacked, is what I'm saying. I don't feel personally.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's if it's an everybody statement, then I suppose. All right, sounds great.
We'll test it later. You come back as Cornelius.
Cornelius
See
is
if they'll
allowed in
let
the city.
Cornelius. If they let Cornelius in, we know something's afoot.
Yeah. Well, for now, this is how it'll be. We're not here to be enemies. We're here to just get on our business.
I see you down there. Don't you worry, we let your men go in peace. They weren't harmed.
Perfect. I appreciate that.
Why-
Thank
Was
thank
there
you.
was there another?
Thank
yeah,
you. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks for not murdering a bunch of people.
Who helped you? Anyway, things seem a little confusing right now, soldier. What's your name?
My name is Marcus Durant.
Marcus.
Think we might have run afoul of each other once before.
Were you in the Battle of Temple Gate?
I was indeed.
Excellent fighting with you.
Yeah. Brother in arms.
He's got his the visor of their helmets. They have the salad style helmets that they wear. He keeps them down, and almost all the other paladins are and knights all have their visors down and regard you with almost faceless seriousness.
I just want everybody here to know that it was a pleasure fighting alongside you guys, and you are always welcome here in Drakkenheim as our guests.
Bear's like nudging you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, move along now.
We will. We
All the
plan to.
pleasantries are over, I guess. I'll see you at the holiday, the next holiday.
Usually when somebody says, it was good to fight with you, you respond, it was good to fight with you too, or something. None of that? No?
Heavy in the air right now.
Civility is what we can expect.
Air seems a little thick here.
Barely civil. That's
Very
what we're
hazy.
getting.
Yeah. Haze is heavy by this gate.
Ugh, it hurts.
Do you feel that, Paladin?
We do. We have to cycle out every day. We can't get a good night's sleep down over here.
Oh, that's a shame. Poor you. We'll be on our way.
I walk silently through the gate.
As you leave, you can see that they've taken the steps to fortify their holding here. And yeah, they've doubled down. They're putting up some new hoardings. And making sure that the banners are flying quite prominently.
Looks like we have an Illyrian problem.
Yes, for now. Hopefully, and I say this actually really close to Pluto, maybe we can rely on having a Caspian problem.
I thought I was the Caspian problem.
Oh, well, no, that's Jupiter. You're not a problem.
Oh,
Jupiter's
thanks,
the problem.
guys. You know what? Yeah,
Where
I
is
can.
he anyway?
Wait,
I
wait,
can
wait.
create a Caspian problem.
Where
we
is
need to
Jupiter?
find Jupiter at some point because he might have some people to join forces with.
He might also have one of the badges by this point.
If we can get Jupiter on our side, I mean, I would love Caspia on our side.
Yeah, I was kind of iffy about it at first, but I feel Caspia over
I mean-
Illyria for sure.
It's pretty easy. I mean, I have no beef with Jupiter Jones. We just kill Lem and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the meat shield.
Did I say kill? I meant murder. Sorry.
Oh, it just
It-
keeps so many
I
slips.
keep... we'll figure it out when we get there.
Well,
We'll take the
I'm a good
necessary
person.
steps. I know lots of people with bows now, so don't worry.
I kid. I would never murder Lem, but I mean, accidents can happen, and I won't stop them from happening.
Yeah.
With that,
Incidents.
you make the
Incidents.
long journey back to Emberwood Village, taking Temple Road out of the city and following along the Dran River for a safe crossing, and then heading back across the hills and the roads that lead to that sleepy little hometown of Emberwood Village.
I feel so at home here.
As we get close enough to Emberwood Village, I start to run towards my home.
like
How
just as you
much?
see it. Yeah, I want to see visuals. Like, can you see it in the distance?
It's-
As when you can read signs?
It's,
like, how far are you running?
Sebastian has a relative understanding on how far he can run before keeling over, and it's not that far. So it's more like he's walking casually, and once he kind of passes the Welcome to Emberwood Village sign, and you're like by the first houses, he kind of starts to like jog, and then he's like, okay, all right. And then he picks up speed, and he runs up to his house and bursts into the door.
And I'm jogging at a slow jog beside you, being like, are we picking up the pace? Okay, cool.
I'll run. I'll run
And as
too
you burst in the door,
to catch up.
there is Moira and the children just cleaning up after breakfast.
Are you alive?
And she has a very shocked look on her face. She's like, Sebastian, and your father's already gone to the blacksmith.
He's
to
gone?
the smith. It's past breakfast.
Oh, wait, sorry. Say that again. He's gone where?
He's already gone to the smithy, to the shop.
Oh,
He already had breakfast. He gets up at the crack of dawn to start work.
you're okay.
Everything's fine.
Nobody's been here.
No.
You haven't been
No.
threatened.
No.
No strange people about threatening you or...
There's been a lot of strange people about,
Ah,
but
that's pretty
that's
common.
typical for this town these days.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should put a couple of lanterns here.
I start like investigating around the house, just like looking for
Picking up things and like
Yeah.
looking under
Yeah,
them.
I'm like looking under them, like
Kind of pat down the kids.
I
You check behind their ears and like check in their hair, being like
I'll-
looking for like.
Check in the pantry.
I'm
Nothing
like
here.
I need a moment, and I sit there in the house and I do the ritual detect magic.
Aside from a few fragments of delirium that you left here a while ago, there's not a lick of magic in
What
the
about
house.
the harpy egg? Is that magic?
How's the harpy egg doing?
Oh yeah, we should check in on that. Have they been nursing it?
They have been. They've been keeping it in the chicken coop.
When that thing hatches, oh boy.
No. It might think that they're its mother.
It's a good might for children. We'll see how it plays out.
They're either gonna learn. They're gonna learn some lessons
The
very quickly.
children are very puzzled by all of this going on. Your brother, your sisters, your brother's actually already at the smithy as well. But and they kind of laugh at the situation. But do you explain to Moira? What do you say?
Oh yeah,
I'll distract the kids with magic. And I use
And then we'll take more
prestidigitation
into
to
the
make
other room.
Sparks.
and I'll stand in the doorway.
Listen, we just had a really interesting conversation with a lot of really scary people, and it just happened to come up that one of the people that is on our side suggested the idea that if they knew about me having family, that my family could be in danger. Your thoughts?
Her eyes go wide. And she says, if anyone would be so low to come after your family, as long as you're standing out for what's right, we'll stand by you and we'll protect this house. But we'll do what's right to make sure that my children are safe. But you need to tell your father about this so that we can be sure that we're going to be okay. They're not going to come by and are they going to, is the house in danger? What is the nature of the danger?
We don't know. Perhaps you've heard whisperings of the Queen of Thieves of Drakkenheim?
Well, she's caused all sorts of trouble here in Emberwood Village with all the gangs.
I may have pointed a wand at her and threatened her in public.
Oh, Sebastian. What are we going to do if she comes around and you're not here?
I didn't think of that. I was trying to do what was right in the moment. I saw an opportunity to confront her. She has been doing horrible things in Drakkenheim for a long time, and I thought I could put her in her place. Turns out, I didn't quite have the control of the situation I thought I did. We're making some major moves right now to gain some power and reclaim as much of Drakkenheim as we can, but the Queen of Thieves may be an enemy now.
She's always been an enemy. But now that she's always been someone stirring up all kinds of trouble, but if she's going to come after us, if she's going to come after my daughters, my son, your father?
I don't know if she would. It was just a suggestion that was made. It's a possibility. It's something that I can't rule out.
What are we supposed to do?
Do you have any way to protect this place? I don't want to tell you to go somewhere else. This is your home. I'm not gonna make you leave. I just feel like if you know about the danger, then maybe there's something we can...
We don't have anywhere else to go.
Pluto?
Both your father's family and my family have lived here in Emberwood Village for generations. It's not like we can pack up and move somewhere else.
I'm scared. This is the first time in my whole life that I've actually had a family to come home to. I had my dad before, but you have to understand that I was young and things were awkward. Things are better now. It's this is what I always wanted. I always wanted to come home to this. And I don't want to lose that.
Well, sit down. We'll fix some lunch.
Lunch?
And your father will be back, and then we can discuss what we can do.
Okay.
I'm like, kids, go chase the butterflies. And I minor illusion them to chase the butterflies. I'm like, I heard there was lunch.
Did you just like pop into the kitchen at this, like, you didn't hear anything else? You just heard the word lunch?
Veo's caught up, and Eldrick and River have as well. And seeing this, Eldrick speaks up and he says, well, Moira's a very good cook, and I think that it's only fair that if River and I can park our carriages here and have lunch, we'll do our best to keep an eye on things.
Would you do that for me?
Yes, we'll stay here for the time being.
Moira, does that sound... They're the most powerful mages I've ever met.
And Moira nods. They've been company here before, so it just means we've got to deal with those two things, don't we? She points to the shield guardian, and
I look up to the shield guardian. I'm like, do you eat? I don't think you have to worry about feeding
it looks
them.
down at you with its helmeted head.
I mean, you don't have to feed them, and I mean, really, they're some of the best protection you can ask for.
We'll be fine.
I think if worse comes to worse,
That's great.
would we be willing to, if things go really bad, would Caspia be a safe place for them?
Yeah, I guess anywhere far away, at least until we deal with the threat, whether it be from the Queen of Thieves or someone else.
Now, that would be a journey that would take them weeks.
But if this place ever became unsafe, I would always offer refuge in Caspia.
I don't think it's something that they need to endure right now, but I think if this place becomes somewhere that is truly unsafe for them, and we cannot guarantee their safety, I think making the journey to Caspia might be the best option for making sure both the families are safe.
Yeah.
Totally. I would never scoff at that idea. My family would welcome them. At least I would hopefully write a letter and be like, yo, guests are coming. It's Pluto. Sorry I don't write much.
100 men still going strong.
Yeah.
And your wife
Everything's
can look after them.
fine.
What?
Do you want
His
to
wife.
send
No.
out? Do you want to send a message out to anyone in Caspia?
Good idea.
Wow, I never even thought of that. I'm really bad at sendending letters.
Your wife's
And-
probably so worried about you.
You keep bringing up the... like, are you in... what... Do you have a wife to talk about?
It's maybe I should reach out to family back home.
So evasive.
We've been friends for like a month now.
Yeah, like I've just been so
Only been a month.
preoccupied with like not dying that writing letters
You
just
forgot all about the people in your past, and you're
If
focused
you
on the
need to
people
send a
here
letter
in
to
front of
anyone
you.
in Caspia, I can relay it.
that'd be great. I'll draft something up.
You have 25 words.
Oh, yes.
Telegram.
I'd need to know who you'd be sending it to, and I can make the arrangements that it is delivered.
Okay. Oh man. So many. I turn away and start scribbling.
Okay.
On some loose paper.
With that, your father returns in the afternoon, and you're able to explain the situation to him. And as Eldrick makes the next preparations for your expedition to the tower, you guys are good to have a couple days of downtime.
Wow.
What would you like to do?
Well, I'm sure I'll be busy relaying messages to the squads to let them know what the plans are.
Okay.
I also want to just practice my archery. I guess I always get better at what you're good at, you know?
Yeah, well, you leveled up as well. I think we went over this last time. You got
Crossbow expert!
Nice. Another
So,
level of rogue, right?
Another level of
Yeah.
rogue. So now I'm 4th level rogue, and I actually put my longbow away and I start to really practice with my crossbow, trying to like get faster at like putting in the bolts and like firing them. So I use a couple target practice to like pew pew
Cool.
pew pew.
Pluto, you're working on your message?
Yeah, scribbling.
Okay, I'll come
away.
back to you. Sebastian, what are you going to do?
I resummon Crowley, finally. And I begin flipping through my mom's spell book again, trying to learn some of the ones that I'd been practicing for a little bit, as well as coming back constantly to that page that I didn't see before with the Contact Other Plane spell. And I start trying to figure that out.
Okay.
And I imagine that I spend quite a bit of time in the evenings and mornings, and if I'm up through the night, I'm flipping through the book to that page, practicing it.
In order for you to master the ritual, and are there other rituals that you want to scribe into your book?
Yeah, so I was hoping that I could take comprehend languages is one of the ones that I scribe into the book, and telepathic bond.
Okay. Those are all available for you to pop in. The process of copying each spell, you need 50 gold pieces in materials to copy each per level of the spell. So for telepathic bond and contact another plane, you'll need 500 gold pieces of materials, which Eldrick is able to provide you with at the cost, but you need to pay for it. Yeah. So it would be a total of 550 gold pieces to do all three. And it will take you approximately 3 days to finish mastering those rituals.
That's what I'm going to do with my downtime then, is I really think that contacting my mother is it's the top priority for me.
Cool.
So
as you're working, Eldrick does take notice of that you are working on arcane rituals, and he explains, do you remember some of your early lessons?
a little, yeah.
When you become a member of the Academy, one of the things that we will teach you is how to practice circle magic. That is magic that is performed in tandem with another caster. Show me the most powerful spell you are capable of casting.
I've been working on a few new ones. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
I stare at Eldrick for a few moments and transform both of our appearances so that he looks like Sebastian Crow and I look like Eldrick.
Well done. Well done, boy.
It's funny voice coming from Sebastian.
Well
To say,
I'm Eldrick.
we have a tradition amongst full members in the Academy. And he holds up his hand and he shows the rings that he wears on each finger. These are my rings. And he holds up his second hand. And you see that on one hand he has 5 rings, and on the other hand he has 2. You earn a ring in accordance with the greatest magic you have mastered. And he points to River, who holds up her hand that has 4 rings on it. You've outdone River.
Well, River. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
She smiles. Well done.
Thanks.
It's It always amazes what the raw talent can master. Somehow, even though you have not had the tutelage and the learning and the instruction, there's some real talent in you.
Thank you. I've been working real hard trying to, I don't know, make sure that I do okay with this. Like, obviously, you know, my past with magic was not the most controlled.
No, but you are the son of Laneth Eventide, who wore 10 rings.
Wow. I have one ring right now. It's pretty cool. Actually, I think it was one of hers.
Well, you'll have to prove worthy of it.
Thank you so much.
And I walk up to him. I'm like, but can you do this? And I like shower sparks in my hand with prestidigitation.
You best be careful with that veil. It is one thing to know minor tricks and cantrips and show them around. It's another to be cursed with sorcery, as someone like Sebastian or the rest of us are. For most people, they can't tell the difference between the different forms of magic. And, well, with things being as they are over the past couple days, this situation in Drakkenheim could cause problems that shake across the whole world. If the Silver Order brings their news back to the hierarch of the Church of the Sacred Fire, they could open up the discussion of the Edicts of Lumen, which protect us as those who have sorcery in our blood. There were dark times in the days before the Academy, and we rely on a very careful agreement between the Church and the nations of the continent in order to protect ourselves. We'll need to tread very carefully.
He still looks like Sebastian Crow this whole time.
So what you're saying is only invisible mage hand.
No, I'm saying we'll see what happens in far off places.
Okay.
Bluto?
I don't remember my dad's name.
It was Saul.
Perfect. I don't say that out loud. I just sit there and I go, and as I'm scribbling, I'm like, you know, when you like the word like, and you're like trying really hard. I'm like, Saul.
Just always called him Dad.
Yeah, he's always just been dad or father, Faja. I run into the room and I'm just like, I'm done, and I can I do it privately?
Yep.
I'm gonna go up to Eldrick and I want to like.
Right now, I look like Eldrick. And Eldrick looks like Sebastian Crow.
So I walk up to you and then,
Hello, Pluto. I am Eldrick. I have a cold.
I'm ready to send my message.
Let's hear it.
I'm just looking at him with the most wide eyes. Like, imagine cat eyes. Just like,
I have secured the documents. Queen Lenore is alive, but sick. Children missing. Need to possibly shelter refugees. I also made new friends. Miss you.
Excellent. I will send this at once.
And it's to my father, Saul.
Ah, yes. Here you go, Sebastian.
Wait, why are you giving it to Sebastian?
He is the best mage here. Sebastian Crow, greatest mage in the world.
Could you have done this the whole time, Sebastian?
Eldrick just kind of shakes his head.
I transform back.
What? No.
Here you
But-
go.
All right.
Who do I have to kill?
This is the spell.
Magic infuriates me. You're the
Sebastian's
queen?
been playing tricks on you.
he learned from the best.
I will relay this as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
Very good. Get some rest.
New spell.
We'll be having...
I don't trust anything anymore.
That was so sneaky.
the start of the new week. We'll start on our expedition.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your downtime? I'm going to say that you spend about 2 weeks.
Ooh, it's like a vacation. We're racking up them days, so
We've really earned them.
any health potions we can buy.
I can also make some potions.
Yeah, Sebastian can make them.
Can you make me some potions?
How
great.
many? I
How
want to
great.
make myself more delirium potions.
Okay.
And more health potions for the group.
Okay. So, Sebastian, you can now create, over the course of your downtime, Eldrick will also instruct you on how to create Aqua Delirium, on how to create Aqua Expurgo,
Ooh.
and how to make potions of greater healing. So you can do healing potions, greater healing potions, and the 2 different delirium potions.
Does the aqua aspergo still need to be injected into the chest, or can I try to come up with an easier method of consumption?
Like a pill.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
15.
Well, you spend a couple days planning with a suppository, and that goes nowhere. Nowhere good, at least.
Poor Pluto.
Pluto is my test subject. This goes up
you
and
sure?
it comes
Are you
out.
sure? this is gonna work?
Working with Eldrick and River, and with a few more instructions that come in and materials that come in. There's a runner that comes one day from the academy that brings materials, and there is now an aqua expurgo that can be taken orally, that you can drink.
Yes, Pluto.
Still bad effects.
Does it still have the same side effects?
It does,
Okay, that's fair.
and it tastes really bad. It's kind of like, like the most vile shot you can imagine. Like, it's like that combination of like absinthe and brine. And that's what it tastes like.
But could I press
Is it like
prestidigitate
pickle
to make
brine?
it
Because that sounds
taste good?
delicious.
You
Don't try to
can
sell me on
try.
this.
It's
Magic.
it might the magical confluence means that when you prestidigitate it, it changes its flavor randomly.
Pluto, do you agree to be the test subject?
I do, only because this way I can actually take my armor off and I can just lay in the bathtub
So for 3 or 4 days, I'm feeding Pluto these potions, and he's
until he gets it
a
right.
mess.
Yeah.
He's just.
But I'm strong.
This improved Aqua Expurgo fortunately only results in vomiting.
Fortunately,
That's a great. That's great.
I'm checking you. I'm like, it only came out one end, Pluto.
We're making progress.
You're like vomiting into
And
out
as
the window.
That's such a waste of food.
as you develop it, Eldrick explains it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, actually.
Few places in Drakkenheim are thicker with the haze, and perhaps greater quantities of delirium than the grounds near the Academy Tower. So you will all need to imbibe it to approach the tower.
That's fair.
It will probably kill you otherwise.
Okay.
And hopefully the tower is sealed enough that once you're inside, you will be shielded from the effects. We're really counting on that one.
Well, so are we.
Do you have anything to go on, or is that just like a here's
Just a hopeful.
The
Hopeful
towers of
spirit?
the Amethyst Academy have endured much magical disaster, but it is entirely possible that there could still be problems because, of course, you have seen what happened to the tower when the meteor fell. We really do not know what state it will be in. We have long pondered this, but we don't know for sure. when you go, the teleportation chamber is one of the most important objectives you can secure. It is located on the first level below the main level.
And the main level is on the ground floor, like
Approximately, yes.
walking in off the street.
So the circle's in the basement.
Indeed.
Do we also want to go up?
Because the circle is located in the basement, because the rest of the tower is traditionally shielded against being entered or exited with magic.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
It is incredibly likely that the guardians that are kept in the tower and the various creatures that we use to maintain our towers will still be there. But with 15 years of no maintenance, the binding rituals that are typically performed on an annual basis will have expired, leaving them wild and untamed.
Everywhere that we go in Drakkenheim, it's just...
Wild and
Wild?
Untamed is actually a great description for most of this city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're ready for it.
How many potions can I...
I was
Or
gonna say, how many heat?
One per day.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is it three?
one per day. And you can then... and then that also includes the days. So you have to spend at least 3 days mastering the rituals,
Mhm.
and 1 day mastering the potions themselves, and then after that, so you can make 10 potions of any type that you'd like.
That's actually
Greater healing.
amazing.
I'm going to make myself quite a few...
So, real roll call. I have 3 potions of greater healing currently.
I have 0.
I
I have 0.
I'm going to make 5 potions of greater healing. I take...
How many do you have right now?
3?
How many do you have right now?
Right now,
As long as we have a good spread, because we can always change it up later.
Yeah.
I have 1 potion of greater healing.
I think that
can
makes
take
sense.
3, so
Yeah.
we all have 3?
It should be 3,
And
3,
you
3. That'd be
too?
perfect.
4 or 5, yeah. Let's do that.
That's actually, yeah, solid.
There is another objective that you will have once you are in the tower. You will need to find... At the top of the tower
Mhm.
is the Nexus. The
Sounds scary.
Nexus is the focusing lens, which orients the ley lines around Drakkenheim and allows members of the Amethyst Academy to tap in into one of our most valuable resources, the Well of All Spells.
Whoa.
Pardon
In
you?
order to secure the Nexus, it is also what controls the other arcane defenses of the tower. You will need to override whatever magic is in place in the Nexus, and the only way that you will be able to do that is by finding the Staff of Power of the Archmage of the Academy. Wherever that Staff of Power lies, you will need it to reorient the Nexus.
And that's in the tower?
I hope to all the gods and all the winds of magic that it is.
Okay.
So, secure the basement, find the Staff of Power,
Nexus.
override the Nexus.
Correct.
And
Profit.
C gains. Big gains.
Once you override the Nexus, any of the defenders that have been gone haywire, or any of our other servants or other spells that would be attuned to the former occupants of that tower, will then recognize you, and you will be able to specify their parameters.
Oh.
Once you have done so, you will return the Staff of Power to the Council.
Seems fair. Seems fair.
Cool.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, because
cool,
he has a
cool.
wand. He doesn't need a staff of power. He has this
Needs a
perfectly
staff
good
of
wand.
power. Now,
Yeah,
do
who
we
needs
have to
it?
go to the council to do it, or can you deliver the powered staff to the council? I think our presence is best here.
No.
hopefully, once you secure the teleportation circle, the council will be able to come here.
Don't do well with teleporting, so.
Afterwards, Sebastian,
Yes.
if you are interested in being considered for the stewardship of the tower, that is something that may be considered once you demonstrate that you have attained your 7th ring.
Okay. Right now I have 1 ring. Do I get more?
Well, judging by what I've seen of you over the past few days, you would, if inducted, you would earn your 5th ring.
Wow. Higher than River.
River can be my number 2. Wait. Number 3.
Thanks.
1.
Oh, are you ranking us right now?
1. She'll be my number 2. Yeah. You're my number 1. You're my number 1. She'll be my number 2.
Finally,
We're like,
your friends, Vale, Pluto, you are an exception. We normally do not permit those who are of more mundane persuasions from even entering the upper reaches of a tower of the Amethyst Academy. With respect, Vale, your talents are admirable, but amateur.
I picture Veo's eating, and I'm like gazing off in the distance while he's like basically making fun of us, and I'm just staring.
I can't do it without them.
I understand that. We don't expect you to.
listen, as I've heard halflings say before to magical people, you can keep your secrets.
We appreciate that. You may see some things in that tower that you do not understand.
Oh, I bet.
That
is
that
fine.
happens quite often.
The spatial dimensions inside the tower might not necessarily conform to what you expect.
Is it anything like where I went to school?
As you'll see, apprentices typically keep to the lower reaches of the towers, but the higher reaches are anyone's game.
Okay.
We have a plethora of magical items and abilities. How do they interact in a tower that is sort of
Protected.
spatially dimensioned? Yeah, and it's got protections that are going wild.
In
What
a
can we
normal
expect?
normal functioning tower of the Academy, they are augmented and even boosted. Many arcanists that were working together in one of the foundries of an Academy tower, the members of the Academy can work amazing feats of magic that a single mage working on their own, or even a group of mages working outside a tower, could not even fathom. It's the benefits of working together. We understand this very well in the Academy. But the influence of the haze of delirium may have caused all these things to go haywire. If the behavior of the teleportation circle is any indication, you will want to exercise caution.
I'm just thinking for things like Cape that dimension doors, or
Yeah, I don't think we can go out of the tower through teleportation once we're in. So, once we're in, we're in.
we're in.
Hmm.
No,
I'm really
Parachute
good at running away,
pull.
so.
I'm not running.
I'm not comfortable with running. It's too heavy. My stuff's too heavy.
Especially since you're carrying half of my stuff now.
Yeah.
Do you have a new bag, by the way? I don't think I'm getting mine back.
We lost a bag of holding to the queen.
We'll see what we can do about that.
I mean, he was there. I think he saw.
Moira, I'm
You
storing
watched.
some stuff in your house.
During the week, Elena shows back up at one of the barracks with almost no memory of the past several weeks, with an empty bag of holding. And it makes its way through the
Send it
channels.
over!
And all that's inside in the bag of holding is an envelope, and inside the envelope is a pressed flower and a smiley face.
Well, she did say she was going to give me my bag back.
That's true. She did.
So
put all your stuff back in.
does that mean that she's like proving to be of her word? No, she lied to us so many times. Never mind. She's still bad.
Do you have any questions about the tower before you proceed?
No, it seems pretty straightforward. Kill our way through. And when you say override the Nexus, I'm assuming that I'll know how to do that when I get there.
There will be a point that you will... The Nexus itself is a great arcane engine attached to a series of lenses.
Okay.
The control point for it will be marked with runes that will conform to the Staff of Power when it's presented. From there, if I am understanding the instructions correctly, as you grip that Staff of Power and adjust it, you may be temporarily conscious of the entire universe all at the same time.
Wow.
Is that a good thing, or is there a possibility that my head explodes?
I really hope that your head does not explode.
Me too.
If his head explodes, is there a way for you to put it back together?
Like, this is his head exploding, and then it comes back together.
I'm a wizard, not a cleric.
Do you know of any?
Dude, I'm a mason.
I need a
If it's anything like masonry, I've got this.
I don't think it is.
I feel so much safer.
Actually, I do have one other question for Sebastian. Real
Yes.
quick. So you made 5 potions of healing. We need at least 1 each of the aqua.
I took that into account. So I had 2 aqua expergio. So I made 1 more.
Okay.
I had 1 aqua delirium. So I made 4 more.
Okay.
And then so that's 5. And then I made 5 potions.
So we'll have at least 1 each to take before we get to the tower.
Yes.
Finally, I noticed that you have mastered the ritual of a telepathic bond.
Yeah.
I will take point, and if you would like, when we set out, you, myself, and River will enact the ritual together, which will increase the duration and distance by which we can maintain that telepathic bond. So you will be able to be in contact with myself and River while you explore the tower, should you encounter any problems.
Amazing.
Magic is so fun.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me until this conversation that I could have friendship to enhance spells. Having other spellcasters around is great.
Woo!
What?
Yeah. The circle magic of the Academy allows some of what you do on your own, this meta magic, which is very brilliant technique that not many can master, but circle magic allows several mages working together to manifest similar effects in shaping their spells.
Wonderful.
Like mega magic.
Mega magic.
Canon.
It's done some terrible things throughout history.
I can imagine.
Oh.
But it's also allowed us to talk.
Yeah, we need call signs. I'm Silver Eagle.
Oh, I like that.
I'm Sebastian Crow.
No, you need it.
Oh, I'm Spelly McSpell Crow. That was
is
bad.
the first one you came up with? Or
Yep.
You're just gonna
Yep,
go
sorry.
with it?
Let me give me a moment. Veo, call sign.
Shadow Cat. But that's like literally my name too.
Shadow Crow. Damn. This isn't working, guys. Pluto, call sign for me. Go.
Oh wait, I've got one. Wait.
Ooh.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'm gonna call you Firestarter.
Corvidae?
Firestarter. Code name Firestarter.
Firestarter?
Firestarter, Silver Eagle,
It's like the family of crows.
and Shadowcat.
Corvid.
Yeah.
Shadow Cat.
Shadowcat.
Alley Cat.
Panther. Shadow Panther.
Panther.
Shadow.
Guys, I'm going to forget all of these. I'm calling you Pluto and Veo.
Okay.
I just want to make Eldrick regret having a telepathic bond with me.
I already do.
Like just constantly, I'm in his
Does
head.
that mean
being like,
all of your thoughts
and
are what he
I'll-
hears?
No.
You
To
choose-
indicate if you wish to talk telepathically, we'll just institute a rule that you need to put your fingers to your forehead.
So this is the universal.
This is the
sign of,
universal
like,
call sign that you were talking telepathically.
that the mic
You
channel
do
is
realize
open.
that Pluto's still going to screw this up, and he's just going to be walking around like this, forgetting his hands are up there, and just being like, "What did I have for breakfast?"
If I do
today?"
too. Yeah, that's how I actually think a lot.
Get off the line.
We'll see how that goes.
Just static.
So-
Just a lot of static.
Is that it for the two weeks?
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess. Yeah, I don't have much to do in my downtime, so I'm just like, You
wanna
kind of
do my
get
target
tired of me
practice?
because I'm just constantly walking around, like wondering what you guys are doing. Oh, you're shooting at me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try
Target
to.
practice. Yeah.
And I'm just learning how to deflect with my shield. Mm-hmm. It's
We're
a hard
sparring
lesson.
against each other at long distances.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great for me.
Cool.
The only news from the wider world that you receive over the past 2 weeks is that a diet of the Flamekeepers has met in Lumen and declared that Lucretia Matthias is an outlaw and a heretic, and those that follow her are subject to church law.
like, or like,
Church law.
Or like
Captured.
church law. Church law?
All of the above. And so there have been rumors breaking out and reports from the Scouts of the Hooded Lanterns of battles being fought between members of the Silver Order and the followers of the Falling Fire in the streets of Drakkenheim.
That's nuts. That's chaos.
I mean, maybe they'll take care of our problems and kill each other.
well,
Wait, that's horrible. I like the Silver Order.
I mean, the
A lot
Silver
of good people in
Order
there.
are good people, but they're putting up their boundaries and they're not trusting enough people. So if they lose people from all sides, they've got obviously the Academy on one and with us, they've got the Falling Fire on another. They're not really putting themselves in a good position.
I also feel bad for all those people who chose to follow Lucretia. They're just misguided. They're all digging their own graves, I guess.
It could come in handy, though, if we ever need to leverage some support from the Silver Order, if we can show that we also do not enjoy the Falling Fire. Like, maybe we can help get passage back into the city, or...
Maybe.
I mean, we have passage into the city. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend.
I don't think they're our enemy right now, but they're not helping themselves. They're creating more enemies on each side than they can deal with. But if that's what they choose, that's what they choose. We all make our choices in Drakkenheim and let the cards fall where they may. Let the fish bones make shapes.
What's the
on the
worst that could
table.
happen?
Hey. Don't say that.
Hey.
You never know. It could be really bad. I don't like you saying that. Makes me really uncomfortable.
Come on, man. You've been in my head all day.
Should we head out tomorrow for the tower
I want eggs for breakfast
before we leave for the tower?
and toast
Cool.
and bacon and sausages.
You get all those things.
Yes.
And that's where we'll take our break. And we are back from our break. Thank you very much for standing by with us, and we're going to dive right back in just a moment.
Want to give a big shout out to Tabletop Audio. You're probably listening to them right now or as we play. A great way to enhance your own games at home. It's all free at tabletopaudio.com. Go check it out. We've been using it since day one.
And don't forget to check out our merch store at the Teespring store. The links are below, as well as below our YouTube videos. Or you can go to bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch for all your fave Dungeon Dudes t-shirts.
And if you are enjoying the stream and you want to support our work, don't forget to check us out on Patreon. You can find it by following the links down below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. dudes. We also have a phenomenal Discord community, so if you do join us on Patreon, the Discord is open to all of our Patreon members, where you can come and chat with all of us, talk about all things D&D, all things Drakkenheim, even some behind-the-scenes stuff with the man, the legend, Monty Martin himself. And there's a lot of really cool channels in there to just chat.
And of course, a big thank you to Dimension 20, the official sponsors for this week's episode of Dungeons of Drakkenheim. Our great friends there our great friends at Dimension 20 have started up season 3 of their new D&D live play series, The Unsleeping City, led by Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan and a team of veteran college humor comedians. It is an awesome campaign. If you cannot get enough D&D streams in your life or live plays, definitely worth a look, especially the first couple episodes, which are at the Dimension 20 YouTube channel. And you can also watch the full series and more by subscribing at dropout.tv, where you can get a 50% discount off your first month by using the code ROLL50. So follow the links in the description below for more information. With that, let's dive back into the ruins. And back into the ruins we are indeed. After several weeks of rest and relaxation, recuperation, research, potion brewing, and training, our heroes are venturing back into the ruins of Drakkenheim. We will take ourselves ahead now to the map of the city, where we can plot our route. For it is not a big stretch. It's not a big journey, but a perilous one at that. For the Academy Tower lies at number 10 on the map, which is actually in the direct line from Market Gate, from Shepherd's Gate, almost a straight shot from Shepherd's Gate lies there. So in fact, every time you walked out from that tower as you head along Shepherd's Way, you can see it looming straight in front of you. In fact, it slightly blocks the view of the castle from the barracks. And so it is a pretty easy shot if you want to take the most direct route possible from, I assume, the barracks.
Yeah.
That would make the most sense. I say that we skirt around the outside to Shepherd's Way and then head straight to the tower.
Sounds good.
At this stage, the Hooded Lanterns have developed basically the pathway that they take when they try to send runners back to Emberwood Village. And their methodology basically is they stay completely outside the ruins of the city. They have a crossing a little ways down the Dran River that they use instead. It takes longer, but it's way safer than cutting through the ruins if your interest is safety and not saving time. And in fact, in some cases, it's both the safest and fastest route, because going through the ruins can be an ordeal in itself.
Are Eldrick and River more comfortable taking that route?
Eldrick and River are going to stay in Emberwood Village. As you recall, they are going to make sure that your family is has an eye kept on them. And in the morning before you set out, Eldrick enacts the ritual with you. It takes an hour to perform with River, instead of just an extra 10 minutes on top of the telepathic bond. But the result is that the telepathic bond that you build with Eldrick, River, and I assume these two will last for 24 hours.
So time is of the essence.
Eldrick, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Indeed.
I couldn't see your hands.
Loud and clear.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now, I will say it is possible we might get a little bit of a shaky reception once we're in the tower. With the Nexus down, the proper channels aren't necessarily in place. So we'll see what happens, and we'll play it by mind instead of ear.
I see what you did there. I'm laughing in my head.
And it is a party line. The telepathic bond, or actually, I need to decide what my ruling on that is going to be. Is the telepathic bond a party line, or can you...
Salmon, tuna.
Yeah.
I need to bring Veo salmon. All of a sudden. I have this craving.
Yeah, like
So I'm going to say, because the spell doesn't specifically decide, you are linked to each other, but you can broadcast to everybody or to one person if you need to. So you can broadcast amongst yourselves or everybody as a whole.
Pluto. Tuna.
I have a craving for tuna.
This is going to be fun.
Pluto. Sebastian.
I have a craving for tuna.
And as you set out, Eldrick and River say,
And some other private thoughts.
Eldrick and River, before you head out one last time, Eldrick and River do have a few things to give each of you as a token to protect yourselves. First, they give each of you a potion of superior healing.
Ooh. Heal me.
And then they have 3 more potions that they can give you that you can use however you like. A potion of invisibility, a potion of invulnerability, and a potion of flying.
Oh, flying would be so fun.
Well, which do you want?
Oh, I don't know. Who do you think would get the invisibility? Me?
I was thinking invisibility and vulnerability and flying, but I could do flying.
I could do invulnerability.
I could go either way. What do you want?
Well, I've already had invisibility at one point.
Do you want to fly?
I do want to fly.
She can fly. She
I
can
want to fly. I want to fly. I want to fly. Yes.
Okay.
We've divvied it up.
And with that, as you travel back towards Drakkenheim, the city looming in the distance, and head down Shepherd's Way towards the gate and the barracks, the soldiers of the Hooded Lanterns saluting Veo as Lord Commander as they pass through.
Thank you.
Elias, Drexel, Petra, and Ansem acknowledge as you do. I assume over the past 2 weeks, kind of Petra and Ansem have been checking in with you as well, Veo. So there's been Hooded Lanterns back in Emberwood Village and heading back again.
Definitely.
You open the gate, and the gates from the barracks open up, and you stare down Shepherd's Way. This time, not looking towards the city, but looking up at the tower of the Amethyst Academy that looms before you.
Before I leave the lanterns, I go to Ansem and I say, I need you to get some information on someone, if you can.
You bet. What's your command?
Jupiter Jones. Find him.
Will do. Do you want to, shall we apprehend him, arrest him, beat him up? What do you need us to do?
Oh no, not beat him up. I mean, intimidate him for sure, but that'll
Maybe
be hard.
tell him that the Lord Commander requires his presence.
Yeah.
All right.
Lord Commander requires his presence.
We'll seek him out.
I mean, yeah.
He'll be, Lord Commander, he'll be waiting for you here when you return.
Perfect. You guys are so good at your jobs.
Now
Have
dismiss them. Dismiss them casually.
Have a treat, and I flick like a little cookie to him.
You're a very different ruler.
The bakeries must be operating at full capacity so the Lord Commander can give out her commendations.
Things really changed in the past 2 weeks.
The Hooded Lanterns really put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, they're a lot rounder on the...
I imagine that was one of your first orders, is all the people who aren't capable of going out into the field are now working in the kitchen to make sure that there's a steady supply of food for you.
We need to make sure the men are fed.
Yep.
Without
Turns
full
out-
bellies, they can't do anything. I know from experience.
Veo Senya's tenure as Lord Commander was remembered for her mastery of logistics.
and the culinary arts. Wow.
An army marches on its stomach.
Exactly.
Guys, we're going after that tower.
Yes, and what a
get it.
tower indeed it is. Standing over 700 feet tall, the great tower of the Amethyst Academy is a looming spire that dwarfs the towering buildings of Drakkenheim itself. Standing taller than the clock tower and the cathedral, and though the Castle Draken is atop a cliff, and it is known for its tall towers and spires, but even the tallest point of Castle Draken, it's not quite clear whether it reaches higher in the sky than the Tower of the Amethyst Academy. The Tower of the Academy is a great rectangular structure.
Oh.
One that is difficult to say whether the exterior is made of glass, stone, or metal. It is almost like an obelisk reaching up into the sky. Although there are these it flares out at the base with buttresses, and then there are several arches that are carved into the side of it towards the bottom, and also again at the along the top where it actually reaches up to what was ostensibly where the Nexus gathered energy, this kind of spire right up at the top of the building itself. And of course, the central section of the tower has been shattered, burst apart in the middle, with pieces of floating debris locked as if frozen in time the moment that the meteor struck it. And with a keen eye, it almost looks like there might be chunks of delirium and the meteor itself floating in amongst the debris that hovers there. But the top of the tower stands in place as if completely unperturbed by the fact that the base of the tower was cut out from under it. It's a gap in the rent gap, probably about 75, if not 100 feet wide in the center, and it just floats with nothing holding it up. Except, Dale, you've seen this a few times over the past few weeks, and it hasn't moved that you've seen. There is a rope ladder that has been strung from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top. And it's been sitting there now for several weeks.
So it's new edition.
It was not there before.
Before these came, or before...
Before these two. Like when you... In your early times in Drakkenheim,
Yeah.
it was not there.
It was not there.
Yeah.
So it's a fairly recent addition. Interesting.
So somebody's been in that tower.
Where is movement?
Well, at least we can climb it now.
Well, are you guys ready to venture into some
Yeah.
deep haze?
I am not really totally prepared for this aqua expursio.
Well, I mean, we improved it as much as we could. It's still not going to be pleasant, but it's going to be more pleasant than when we tested it on Pluto earlier.
Do we know if it's going to work on me?
Nope.
I probably would also recommend you do it on a light stomach.
We literally just stopped at the Hooded Lantern Barracks and we all ate 4 pies each.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to regret it. All that meringue.
You guys ready? Shots?
Wrong kind of pie. Meat pie.
Okay.
Oh.
But then dessert, like strawberry rhubarb.
Wait, does it make sense that we drink them now before, like, I imagine we're wandering
Yeah.
up the street.
Yep.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
As the vile liquid heads down your throats, you can feel it coursing through your veins, which bulge out around you, and you shudder and shake as you take the liquid.
I forgot to use prestidigitation, so I like open my mouth and I'm like, eh.
It tastes disgusting.
Here, let me get in there.
Medic! Medic!
Fireball? Do you want me to firebolt it out?
Okay. I am now going to roll secretly for the effects last 1d6 hours.
Perfect.
Oh, you guys are lucky. We'll see how that turns out.
All right, guys, we're on a time
At
crunch.
the end of the effect, you should be aware, when the Aqua Expurgo's effect ends, you will be incapacitated for 4d6 minutes. 4d6 minutes as you vomit. And you will make a Constitution saving throw for each hour you were exposed. You will make a Constitution saving throw based on how many hours you were exposed. That then determines the effects that you suffer afterwards. So to remember, you make one saving throw per hour, and for each failure, you suffer a level of exhaustion. But while you are under the effects of Aqua Expurgo, you have resistance to radiant damage, and you automatically succeed on any Constitution saving throws I ask you to make because of the haze.
Cool.
To radiant.
So once we stop like twitching and stuff, I'm like, okay, guys, these are only going to work for a little bit, so we need to get into that
We
tower.
have to get in and find a place to throw up for
Now,
an hour.
as a final option, if you take a short rest, you can purge. And the effects of the Aqua Expurgo end, and you suffer the bad stuff then and there. If
we
you
find a
wish
place.
to prematurely projectile vomit.
Noted.
Yeah, it's good to like be on top of it and not just happen randomly.
Well, I don't know how long this stuff's going to last this time. I've never tested this formula, so
So let's go.
Let's hurry.
stealthy or as fast as humanly possible.
Fast as humanly possible.
Fast. Let's get in.
Wait, do we want to be magically stealthy and go fast?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Cool. I cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
Stay within 30 feet of me.
And as a group, we start moving.
Okay.
Ninjas.
So if you want to move with stealth, but also be fast, you will effectively be moving at normal pace, and you'll make your stealth checks with disadvantage, even though you have the benefit of Pass Without a Trace.
Which will still give us a plus 10 on disadvantage, which is fine.
Okay.
Trust me, it's fine. Everything disadvantage
Okay.
is fine.
So you are going
Clunk,
to sneak
clunk,
through
clunk.
I
the
automatically
ruins of the
Or-
Academy District
22.
directly towards the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so effectively making a beeline through the streets.
Beeline through the streets.
Okay, you can all give me a stealth check
With disadvantage.
with disadvantage, but a plus 10 bonus.
24.
Okay.
18.
22.
Okay. And all of you can roll me a d6, please.
1.
4.
2.
Ugh.
As you head through the streets and the haze sets in around you, and you begin to see the cobblestone streets of the Academy District are thick with the haze. In fact, you can only ever see about maybe 60 to 70 feet ahead of you. You can always look up and see the Academy Tower, but the mist hangs heavy in the streets itself. And Veo, as you make pace, taking point, I assume?
Yep.
Give me a perception check.
28.
Okay. You see them, but they don't detect the rest of your group. Lumbering through the haze are 4 hulking creatures. They look like they might have once been ogres, but their flesh has been stripped and stitched apart, and each of them has an extra pair of arms jutting out of their shoulder blades. All of them look like someone that they look dead. You can see almost immediately these are undead creatures, but someone has modified them deliberately. For there are pieces of metal that are going up their spines and across their chests and clamping these extra arms. Sometimes there are only a human arm. One of them has a horse leg as an extra arm. And Others, the extra arms, instead of ending in hands, just end in like a mace. And they're lumbering forward around the streets, almost as if on patrol. You catch sight of them narrowly in the mist, and they do not detect your presence. What will you do?
I immediately put my hand up to my head to telepathically say, guys, we got trouble. And is there an alleyway near us at all?
There are several alleys and other passageways. This is a narrow street here. It's the most direct street that leads to the academy.
Okay.
And so as you come up to them, they're here at this crossroads, but there are several side streets and narrow alleys that you could take the group on.
I say, we're taking the side streets. The beeline wasn't working. These guys are not what we want to come across before we go into this tower.
Here's a question for you. Who do we know in the city who likes to modify undead?
Oscar.
Here he is. He's showing himself.
Oscar.
That makes me worried.
Yep.
Are you thinking that we should avoid this situation?
Oh, yeah. Let's avoid getting our butts kicked before we even get to the tower. We got to use this time that we have.
Fine.
Pluto?
Yeah, let's go quick. I don't want to... I want to kill these things. I'm just talking. I'm just walking around talking. Oh yeah, sorry, my radar is not on. I whatever it is, I want to murder it, but I believe that we need to make our way into the tower quickly.
We'll come back and find these things and you can murder them.
I want to murder them so bad.
Okay.
I hate undead.
Let's not use our resources. We got bigger, better things that we can kill in the tower.
Yeah.
So you're going to lead the group down one of the side streets?
Yep.
Pass through? Okay. All of you can give me another stealth check.
With disadvantage?
Yep.
$31.
20.
28.
Okay. Like ghosts, you
That we
pass
are.
by these mangled and horrific creatures down one of the side streets back towards the academy.
I picture Veo's able to give us like even like if like a loose stone, you're like able to be like, yeah, there's a rod coming. Like watch out for this thing.
This
like,
is what it's like to be me, guys.
Telepathic bond makes this so much easier.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, Eldrick, I'm sorry that you're listening in on all this.
It's okay. Veo's right, though. You don't want to get into too much trouble before you actually get to the tower. Save your strength.
I wanted to show you what I could do. All right.
Red leader out.
Okay. Taking that divergent route, you come into the plaza of the Academy Tower. The Academy Tower itself is approximately 150 feet wide. It's a square building. And it stands surrounded by several buildings that are actually part of the Academy. And surrounding the perimeter of them all is a high wrought iron fence, which surrounds the entire perimeter of the Academy grounds. For in fact, this wrought iron fence borders in the small garden and the yard that surrounds the immediate grounds of the Academy Tower. For down here, for around the tower itself are the campus grounds. The cobblestone streets break into this park. The buildings surrounding the Academy Tower include a large 3-story building that you recognize as the apprentices' dormitory, where the apprentices would live before being inducted to being full members. It's a longer kind of 4-story building with better construction than most homes in Drakkenheim, but compared to the other buildings around it, it is by far the simplest building. And part of its roof is collapsed in, and it collapses in on itself as a chunk of masonry from the tower above seems to have collided with it, exposing and destroying the common room and the dining hall that was part of the residences. Nearby are a set of workshops and stables that would have been used by the apprentices as well. And there is a large rotunda style building that is the public lecture hall, and and attached to that building is what is considered to be the public library of the Amethyst Academy. You'll not find a single spell book here, for it was open, in fact, to the public as a gift by the mages of the Amethyst Academy. And at one time, it was probably one of the greatest libraries in Drakkenheim for books of a more mundane nature on topics ranging from fiction all the way to history and engineering and the more mundane sciences as well. There is the remnants of a greenhouse and the overgrown botanical garden, and leading through the yard and the gardens are several trees and rocks and a pathway that leads across all the buildings before winding gently past this large crescent-shaped lake, and then up to a 20-foot high set of stairs that lead into the double doors that lead into the Academy Tower itself. The destruction is clear. Many of the buildings are collapsed and in partial states of ruin, and there is a plethora of rubble that surrounds the field, bits of buildings that have broken off. It seems like, in fact, the lake that was here wasn't originally crescent-shaped, but in fact it has been dragged out by a large piece of debris that rolled across it. The thing, though, that strikes you is not the destruction, but the forest of massive delirium crystals that have grown up around the lake and all around and are in fact clinging onto the building. You've never seen anything like this in the city before. Crystals of delirium the size of a person, formed in perfect diamond-like shapes, jut up out of pieces of either the meteor itself or parts of the Amethyst Academy building. They are reaching their way and growing up the sides of the buildings of the Amethyst Academy, almost like a strange vine, and they pulse with arcane energy, almost like an overripe fruit. And you can hear with the large crystals around here that they are actually resonating in dissonant tones around each other.
Do you guys hear that? Do you feel that?
It's magical music.
Feels like a storm. Feels like, I don't know. Feels weird here.
The crystals jut up out of each other almost like flowers that are blooming. If ever you needed proof of Oscar Yoren's theory that the delirium grows, this is it.
Wow.
I want to let Eldrick know about our findings, describing the growing crystals and the size of them and the
he realized. I'm sorry, you must not be thinking correctly. How large?
I take a little offense to you saying I'm not thinking correctly, but we're going to pass through that. They are the size of a normal person, about 3/4 of the size of me, and they are surrounding the lake near the tower. I can understand why now the haze is so heavy here.
Absolutely incredible. That crystals of that size were even possible is unfathomable amazing. That they should arrive on our doorstep is important, to be sure.
Aldrich, I'm feeling really weird right now. I feel like I want to go up to them and touch them. I feel like I want them. Do you
Can
smell
you
that?
tell, have they... Perhaps they have pulled in the ambient energy of the ley lines the tower's built over. It's what's allowed them to grow to this size.
I feel hungry.
I mean, that's how I always feel.
Oh, so it's normal. I'm feeling normal.
You're actually just listening to Veo too much
Yeah.
right now.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm projecting.
Maybe it's this whole telepathic thing. I don't know.
Let's-
No, guys, you feel the delirium? I feel the delirium.
Maybe
no,
not as
actually,
much.
I don't. I hear it, but I don't feel it as much as
I
I
see
think
it.
it's affecting you. Eldrick,
Yeah,
Could
it
you-
actually makes you sweat a little bit, Sebastian. Like you can feel the tangible
No,
power.
you're wet.
It's almost
Ooh.
intoxicating.
We'll get some on for the way back. We'll fill the bag.
I know that that's not why we're here. It's weird. Thank you. We'll figure it out.
Eldrick, you and your team will have lots to explore when we can finally get this thing locked down. So we don't really have time to sit and look at these crystals. We need to get inside. So thank you. Bye. Hangs up.
Shadow cat out.
I don't think you can hang up. Okay, let's keep going, guys.
Let's
You
go.
gonna be okay?
I'll be fine. Well, yeah. Why? What? It's just some big crystals. It's no big deal.
If you really want some delirium, we have some in our bag.
You wouldn't understand. I'm not addicted to delirium like everybody thinks I am. I mean, I do enjoy the power that it gives me. But it's just like, it tunes into the magic that I have in me. And it's like a connection between me and the delirium that's really hard to explain. And suddenly it feels like it's an extension of me. Like it's part of me.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, that's not ominous at all. Let's just keep walking
Yeah, let's
into this giant
time
tower.
crunch.
Right. Let's
I
go.
really don't want to vomit in the middle of a fight.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Let's keep going, guys.
All right.
Okay. As you advance up, so you're at the edge of the park, essentially. There you see all of these crystals that have formed in the lake, and the path that winds up from the academy buildings along the lake, and then the lake itself kind of rests right almost beside the base of the tower itself. The pathway winding up around it to a set of stairs that lead to the tower proper.
Is it still pretty hazy here?
Incredibly. But the glow of the delirium is like fog lights. So you can see the lake itself is almost glittering. And there's a faint sheen, like in the fog here, there are flecks of delirium in the air itself, and there's the ozone of the energy that you can smell and feel in the air.
Yeah. This can't be good for my lungs.
Probably not. We should probably put on. And I pull my scarf up.
Yeah, just put my mask.
You can see approximately 90 feet ahead of you. But you have the glow of the crystals to kind of guide your path.
I stop for a second and I kind of look around, kind of looking at the ground in front of me, looking around. I'm looking for signs of movement or signs of footsteps or footprints.
Cool. Make an investigation check.
$22.
Nice. As you scan around the passage, the pathway, you can see clear signs of recent passage coming through this way. There are several large footprints and some of them leading away and some of them leading towards. And surmising what you look at, some of these footprints might have belonged to those creatures that you saw earlier. But there's at least, judging by what you see, there's signs that there could be as many as 8 of these creatures, and the boot steps of 2 much smaller ones as well, and a few other. There's 2 other prominent sets of footprints, and the other shuffling footprints as well, leading through the mud and the dust of the pathway going forward.
Guys, I think somebody's here, and I think I have a guess who it might be.
Think Oscar's here?
I think there's a good chance that we might run into our old friend again.
We can murder his face.
I mean, if he wanted to go
talk to him
anywhere,
and apprehend him like a good Lord Commander would do.
No, we're past apprehending him.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
doesn't get away another time.
Just tell me which way to point my bow.
You know what way.
Neck.
You know. You know.
Follow your heart.
I normally try to follow my stomach. You know, that's how we got through the cathedral.
Well, guys, I can't think of a more vile, treacherous place for Oscar Yorn to hang his hat than in a sea of giant delirium crystals.
I'm worried what he's seen here, though. The Amethyst Academy has many secrets, and he knows his way around here.
Well, there's one way to make sure he doesn't tell those secrets.
Stuff is
Ask him to stop talking.
Pluto, after all this time, I'm sure you want to put your skills
I want to kill him.
Yeah.
I want.
You've been training for weeks and weeks just to murder Oscar Yorn.
I'm ready. I'm ready to help.
I mean, it could be somebody else, but there's undead about, there's footprints. This all looks very reminiscent of when we tracked him.
Oh.
Does it look reminiscent of when we tracked him last?
There's no cart tracks.
Yeah.
Just the boot prints of these large creatures. And Vea, you examining them with Sebastian, these are definitely undead creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Several, the shuffling of the feet, zombified people.
Yeah. Yeah, these are definitely...
Shall we press on?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you follow the tracks or the path?
Do the tracks go a different direction?
They go along the path.
Well, then I'll follow
Yes.
the tracks and the path.
And luckily, with Pass Without Trace, we don't leave tracks ourselves.
As you come along the pathway, you come to the last bend by the lake. The humming of the delirium, fresh, ringing in your ears. The smell of ozone in your nostrils, and the swirling mist and fog all around you. But you can still look up. And even here, though, it's hard to, this close to the tower, it's hard to look up and see through the fog to see the tower, as imposing as it is. And as you come up close, Vale, you notice this first. At the banks of the river are several pieces of broken glass. And several scuff marks and bits of broken stone, and a deep gash leading from one of the crystal clusters in the dirt, a groove carved that goes back from one of the crystals towards the pathway and then up again, as if one of the large crystals is no longer there and has been taken into the tower.
Follow that crystal.
There's definitely been someone working here. We should follow the path.
Okay.
Give me a perception check, Vale.
30.
Okay. As you look over towards where the crystal was dragged out, you see something in the water. It's a set of eyeballs. Almost looks like a bubble floating up on the surface of the water. And they look at you and they blink. And you can hear just barely over the audible sound of the delirium this low gurgling noise.
We have company.
Where?
The lake. Can you not hear it?
I can
All
see
I
it
hear
now.
is the delirium.
The eyes. There are eyes.
In the delirium?
Well, in the lake.
Oh.
In the lake. Sebastian, forget the delirium.
What? What is it?
Something's coming.
There is a rushing of waves in the water, and
Oh, this is bad.
the surface of the water breaks with a loud splash and a thrashing noise as this trio of eyeballs in the shape of a carbuncle rise up out of the water on the back of a titanic mound of flesh. As it rises up, these long, spindly green tentacles rise up out of the river with it around this creature that is just this mound of mottled green flesh with spines of delirium growing up out of its back, and these long lashing tentacles, and these three little eyes on the top of its head. And then you see it, this massive toothless maw from which a long pink tongue extends. This creature is the size of an elephant. Roll for initiative.
Oh,
Gross.
Oh. Great. Here.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh
Do you
man.
have rebirth? No.
Not
It's
yet.
just a big frog.
A delirium.
Pluto?
Oh,
A delirium frog, yeah.
it's a
What do
delirium
we got?
frog.
9.
9 for Veo.
19.
15.
Okay. Do. And all right, as it rises up out of the water, Veo's quick warning means that Sebastian, you are the first to act.
All right. Sebastian sees the giant monster appear in front of him. And he is going to... Oh boy. I'm going to pull out... Yeah. All right. Sebastian grabs his wand in his hand and runs forward a few feet and
Okay.
kind of lines the wand across where the monster is. And I'm going to... So you see like kind of wind start blowing through my cape and my hair as I kind of lift a few inches in the ground and swing my wand across in a line, casting Wall of Fire.
Firewall.
Does the delirium do anything around spellcasting?
Indeed, in this case it does. Sebastian, roll 2d6.
Sorry, I asked.
Fire. No, that I was actually gonna say like shoot the delirium crystal just to see what happens.
I think the Academy wants to keep it.
3,
What did you get? What were the numbers on the dice?
2, and 1.
Okay, roll a d100, please.
I don't like where this is going.
I really like where this is going.
69.
Woo!
Okay. As the magic of the spell coalesces around you, there is a surge of wild magic that resonates out from all the delirium around you. What did you get?
For the 69.
69.
Okay. And
Nice.
all of a sudden, as you look around you, Sebastian, and Vale and Pluto have disappeared. And Veo and Peludo, Sebastian has disappeared too. You're still standing there because everybody is now invisible for the next minute.
So, like,
Guys, I can't see you.
It looks
Help.
like they've gone.
Yeah, it just looks like everyone vanishes, but everyone's just become invisible.
Guys, where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
I'm right here. Where are you?
Oh, right here. I didn't move.
Guys, everybody reach out your hands. Oh.
I can hear you.
I can
hear
smell you, so it's all good.
All right.
Okay. Anything else, Sebastian?
I'm gonna, after that, I move behind, just back towards that wall.
Okay. There?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what happens. You see this massive floof run through the wall of fire. So something has charged directly through the wall of fire and come out. And so I need you to roll damage for the wall of fire.
Oh, because it's invisible too.
Yes, it
Oh
became
my
invisible
gosh.
as well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's the delirium lake.
Yep.
I'm gonna use my meta magic
Okay.
to reroll 2 of those. There we go. So that is 29.
Nice.
Yeah.
As it rushes through the fire, there's these licking flames that outline the shape of it as it rushes through the fire, and you can see it go like this massive frog-like creature going, and it's clearly enraged and hungry, and so these. Instead of front limbs, it just has these 4 tentacles and this massive tongue. And very confusedly, it sweeps the tentacles out in a wide arc around it. Because it doesn't really know where any of you are. So it's going to make attacks with disadvantage against Veo and Peludo, because they're still within its reach as it jumps out, because it's going towards the last thing.
And it's still invisible, right?
It's still invisible, and so you can't see it doing this either. So technically the disadvantage negates itself, at least on its first attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to see whether Peludo or Veo is hit first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Veo gets hit first.
Okay.
So it has no disadvantage on this one. It's just even. So it goes to hit Veo with the tentacle, and it gets a 27.
Oh my gosh. Veo!
Veo, you take 24 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled.
Oh gosh.
The other tentacle sweeps towards Peludo with disadvantage now because you can see it, and it gets a 15 to hit.
Miss.
Cool. It sweeps around, and then the tentacle that's grasping the invisible Veo, it like starts to grasp and grab, like it's trying to figure out what it's got in front of it. And so it doesn't really seem to, like, it's grabbing you, and it looks towards you very puzzled, like it wants to bite down on something, but it can't quite see what's there.
Okay.
Alrighty, so it is now visible. We now go to Peludo.
It hears from the darkness, the nothing, Ignatius, and there's a feeling of more fire in front of it, but it can't see it as I slice down on this tentacle that's reaching out towards an invisible creature. And I'm a do my thing.
Yeah.
I get a 19 to hit.
That is a hit. It's like hitting the broadside of a barn. It's got thick flesh, but it's not hard to hit.
And I'm going to How big is it? It's the size
It's
of
a
an elephant?
huge creature.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Shove it back into the fire. Shove it back into the fire.
I'm with it.
Shove it into the fire.
Get me first.
Doing 4 fire damage and 13 regular damage.
Nice. As the flames of Ignatius rip into it, you can see that the water that it's covered in and the hydration in its skin seems to make it resistant to the fire damage.
Darn it.
Oh.
Well, keep hitting it. I've committed, and I'm going to swing again for 23 to hit.
That is a hit.
For
Better.
oh my god, 2 fire damage, thankfully.
Okay.
And 14 regular damage.
Nice. So you cleave into this massive hulking creature, renting out pieces of flesh and sending flecks of delirium flying off of it, but it continues unrelentingly.
And I want to try using maneuvering attack. And I want to see if I can allow Veo to be able to escape its
Her
grasp.
speed is 0, so she needs to spend an action to break out of its grapple.
Oh, then I will use Distracting Strike.
Okay.
So take another 8 damage.
Nice.
And the next attack against it is with advantage.
Nice.
All right, Veo.
All right. I'm going to stay in its grasp, and I take my hand crossbow, and it's right in front of me.
Okay.
And is it just advantage on one attack? One attack, okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take it. Ooh, 11.
11.
Yep.
The bolt collides with it and does not penetrate its skin.
That's one of the 4.
Keep shooting.
21.
That the second shot goes through.
Do. Okay. 1, 2. Actually, sorry. It's 1. It's different now. $22 damage.
Nice.
Gross.
Nope. On the third and 13.
Does not penetrate. So with the flurry of shots that you fry out, as you become visible, it lashes you around, and you're not able to make a shot in on it.
Get me out of here!
Help!
And I'm trying to cleave like the tentacle
Yeah.
arm, and you're just shooting it with
The tentacle arm is as thick as a tree trunk. We go to the top of the round with Sebastian.
Crowley, go! Crowley flies at... Is Crowley invisible too?
Yeah.
So my invisible bird flies into the invisible frog.
The frog is no longer invisible. Once you attack, you become visible.
Okay, so are we all visible now?
You are the only one that remains invisible.
because you have an attack check.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, when you attack or cast a spell, you become visible.
So invisible Crowley flies into the beast's eyes and starts plucking at them. And then I am just going to cast a scorching ray upon it.
Okay, roll 2d6.
With super... Oh, 2d6, because magic. Right.
Yep.
A 6 and a 4.
Okay, because you rolled a 6, you can tap into the magic here. And if you want to, you can roll twice on the Wild Magic Search table and choose.
Yep. All right, first
Oh no.
is going to be 49.
49. Okay. Well, you can't speak for the next minute, and when you try, pink bubbles float out of your mouth.
Let's
So
see what
this is going to be an
Luckily, we
easy
have
choice.
telepathy.
Easy choice.
67.
67. You are frightened of the nearest creature until the end of your next turn.
I'll take the bubbles.
Bubble talk.
So, because you can't speak, this means you can't cast spells with verbal components.
Oh.
So the scorching ray goes off, but now you can't cast spells with verbal
But I
components.
still get the Scorching Ray off.
Yeah.
So as I'm screaming out the verbal components of Scorching Ray, my voice just disappears and bubbles start to fly out of my mouth. And
The Froghemoth has a moment of recognition. It's like, oh, you speak bubbles.
we understand each other.
Friend.
And now I blast him in the face. I'm going to roll my
Yep.
Elven Accuracy.
Oh.
Yeah. 26 to hit.
That is a hit.
So the first one, oh, sure. 8 damage.
Becomes 4 damage.
$18.
That hits, but you don't have advantage anymore, remember.
Oh, right. That was only on the... Right, it's only on the one. Okay.
And the last shot?
16.
All of them hit.
All right. 5 more.
Okay.
8 more.
Okay.
Bam.
I need something other than fire spells.
Alrighty. Anything else, Sebastian?
Crowley flies back to me,
Okay.
and I duck behind the wall.
Okay.
Get him, Pluto! Push him into the fire. It does nothing.
Okay. The Froghemoth lumbers forward and it extends 2 tentacles, one towards Pluto and one towards Sebastian.
No!
It's already got me.
It's gonna capture all of us.
Sebastian, I get a 25, and Pluto, I get a 29.
Is that to hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got me.
So you are both grappled by the Froghemoth. And Pluto, you take 26 damage.
Cool.
And Sebastian, you take 21 damage as the tentacles lash around you.
Ah! My ribcage!
Theo, you held in its hand, in its tentacle, its tongue reaches out towards you and begins to wrap around you as it relaxes its grip on the other tentacle. Make a strength saving throw.
20.
You manage to... The tongue wraps around you and starts pulling at you, and you grab onto its own tentacle and hold on so it can't pull you close to the to it. So it's like it's trying to use its tongue to pull you close to its mouth so it can chomp down on you, but you're grabbing onto its other tentacle, and so you're being held between its 2 tentacle tongue and its arm tentacle that's trying to eat you, and you can just see as you narrowly like pull yourself back, it goes chomp.
Can I take a swing at it for Sentinel? Because
Yes.
it's attacking my friends right beside me. And I take a swing and I crit. And do I get to re-roll the fire damage too?
Yeah, the fire damage is doubled.
Oh my gosh. It's only the base damage that doesn't get added
Yeah.
again. So 11 regular damage, 8 fire damage, and another 6 regular damage and 11 fire damage.
So what's the total?
Oh my god.
That was 11 fire damage twice, wasn't it?
11 regular at the...
Oh.
17 regular damage.
Okay.
Okay.
And what did I say? What did I say on the
11
first fire?
I think it was 11 fire total. Yeah.
No, I rolled 11 on the second one.
Oh, what was the first? Just reroll it.
First one was like low. It was 7. So it was 18 fire and 17
Nice.
regular damage.
That leaves the Froghemoth bloodied
Wow.
as it howls out. And so, lumbering backward from the crit, because it's actually still its turn, it tightens its grip around you, Paluto, so you're grabbed by it, Veo's grabbed by it, Sebastian's grabbed by it. You're all grabbed. It's got you. It's got you. Got you.
Oh no.
Paluto, and it is your turn.
I, seeing the weakness in its tentacle arm, I keep swinging, and I yell out, Ignatius will reveal the truth of what's inside you. And I get like a 24 to hit.
Wow.
For 12 regular damage and 7 fire damage. and I just keep on, and I'm just hacking at like now the tentacle that's holding me as it's swinging me.
Okay.
And I get a 22 to hit
That hits.
for 15 regular damage and 5 fire damage.
So you've dealt 30 damage in total. Do you want to cut off the tentacle?
That's holding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you do so.
And then I run at it and I do the shield slam into it to try to push it back into. Can I shove a huge creature?
You can't because you're too small. It's too big. It's,
I just run into it.
yeah.
At full speed, and my shield
it's two size
imprints
categories
into it a
larger
little
than you.
bit, and then I fall back.
You bounce off. So squishy.
Oh!
Vale, you're up.
All right, I'm still in this paw with the tongue coming at me, and I'm just like,
it's like
"Get
you
away."
looked like a tasty snack to it.
Yeah, with some bite. I get a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Yay. 20 damage.
Oh,
14 to hit.
that hits. Just gets it in.
Oh, and do I get a sneak attack?
You get a sneak attack because I'm
Yep.
standing right there, and because I pushed it with my shield, so I give it a boop.
$28 damage.
Okay, so here's what happens. It's pulling you into its mouth and chomps down, and you lower your crossbow and you shoot directly into its mouth.
Right up
And
the top.
at one point, it just yawns openly enough that the crossbow bolt goes right down its throat and inside its stomach, and clearly something ruptures inside it, and it starts to like shake, and it just retches forth this pile of gore as it flips back over onto its back and dies
In the fire.
In the fire.
in the fire.
So my wall of fire did
And then I
did
take
something.
one more shot just for good measure, and I go, meh.
Just keep shooting.
Emptying your
Yeah.
The load.
I end up stop putting in bolts, and I'm just like, ah!
And it retches up what looks like to be the remains of about 3 or 4 zombified humans that were slightly acidically dissolved. So it's hard to tell whether they were actually zombies, but it looks like they were dead before they were eaten. They were dead, then undead, and then eaten, and then digested.
Oh no. Just keep kicking its corpse back into
Guys,
the water.
Don't throw up. We still need the Expergio in our system. Good,
yeah.
Good.
Swallow it. Swallow it.
Oh, it's worse than the.
I'm good. I'm good.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. I thought that firewall would hold it back. It didn't.
It didn't mind it.
It didn't mind it at all.
Didn't mind Ignatius either. It just kept taking the swings.
I killed it.
Turns out the best method was to just shoot it a bunch.
Yeah. Isn't that always the best method?
I mean, maybe
I chopped off an arm.
You helped.
I helped.
You turned everyone invisible. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Actually, Sebastian, you can't talk right now.
I can still talk telepathically. Guys, you want to see my new magic trick?
I'm popping bubbles as they come out.
Oh, you don't know where those have been.
Oh, I know exactly.
They're from me.
They're from inside him.
Blech. I am a bit sore. That hurt a little bit.
Was it getting grabbed by a tentacle?
Yeah.
Checks
Yeah.
Checks HP. Oh yeah.
It squeezed me a bit.
Do you want to take just a quick health potion?
Do we have a regular health potion? Not the greater? Wait, how much is a greater again?
20.
You know what? I will take that greater. I will.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
can.
use one.
How long
we
does the
still have,
bubbles last?
one of the ointments.
1 minute.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Pink bubbles float out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
It's neat.
Wicked.
I'm just glad you're not so caught up in the delirium anymore.
One of them bursts in your eye.
You feel an invisible poke in your eye.
Why are you guys poking me?
It's fun.
We should go
Should
inside.
we go inside?
We should stop scurrying around.
Yes. All right, let's go inside.
I think my firewall goes away.
Okay.
Maybe.
The steps of the Amethyst Academy loom before you. The door is marked with the sigil of the Academy, the all-seeing eye over an inverted pyramid. As you head up the steps, it's this sloping ramp that leads up to that doorway. But Sebastian, as you approach, the ring that you wear from your mother resonates, and the ramp just goes into steps.
Wow.
I was going to say that's really interesting, but I keep forgetting.
Wow.
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 Well, guys, looks like somebody already has claim to this tower, and it's me. Let's go.
Let's go up the steps.
I start going up
Carefully.
the steps.
And
you head up the steps
stealthily.
to the gold-encrusted door of the Academy. It's a set of double doors. What do you do?
It's been about a minute, right? I think so.
If we have to wait, we wait the 30 seconds or so. Until it...
Is this kind of a like knock and like, hey,
I think we just go in. It's probably unlocked.
It's lots of
okay,
holes in it.
from my memories, I know I didn't come to this tower. I went to a different tower for school. Are the towers generally like magically locked?
Yes, and usually they open to those who bear the rings.
Don't worry, guys. I've got this.
Just wipe your feet on the mat first. We're not animals.
Yeah. Speak
All
for
right.
yourself.
Are we just gonna? We're just gonna walk in, right? We're just
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
All right.
Time is of
And
the
I
essence.
push on the doors.
Place your hand. A ring of runes appear where your hands go, and you can feel them shift. And there's like this little clicking sound of like, and you can see the ring on your finger is actually rotating with runes as well. And there is a flash of light and this kind of this keening wail of a sound. And the doors slide open.
All right.
Wow.
I want to do a quick check
Wow.
behind us as we open the doors. Is there anything else in the water, by the crystals, out in the courtyard?
Make a perception check.
We probably should have put the frog back in the pond.
Corpse is burning in the remnants of the wall of fire.
I have a passive perception of 20, but I only rolled a
Okay.
5, 6.
Looking out, the area's quiet behind you.
We should close the door behind us.
Yeah.
Because I just figure, like, if this requires this to get in, maybe Oscar couldn't get in, and he might be waiting for us in the shadows, waiting for us to give him his, like, key.
But does it look like the crystal has been dragged up into the tower? He's probably already in here.
Yeah, he might.
And
already
he
be
has
in
to have
here.
a ring too.
Probably. He used to work for the
Let's get that
Academy.
ring.
Should we like lock the door from the inside?
Yes,
See what you can do.
if we can.
I have one thought of how we could.
What? What?
Don't we
In
have a,
Rod we trust.
Oh, well,
Well,
I don't want to leave it here.
not to burst your bubbles. The door slid.
Oh.
Well then, you're off the hook this time.
I'm
Put
not
it down
leaving
like
the
really
rod.
low so that if he comes through and he trips, like if he's not watching, it's just like ankle
Then he'll
high.
have the rod.
I mean, and he'll trip.
Inside, as you head in, there is a grand hallway that is lit by spectral candles floating in the air. The inside the academy is a marble stone floor that glistens even through the ages, shining the spectral lights floating above. Some of them are orbs, some of them are the shape of candles, some are in the shape of lanterns. And they all hang in the air and gently bob upwards and downwards. The thing that strikes you immediately as you enter into the room is that the walls are glass and you can see out through them inside the tower.
Like a one-way mirror.
Yeah. So when you step into this large lobby-like room and look out, it's like the external walls are not even there. There's the ceiling there, and there's internal walls as well, but the external walls just disappear entirely.
So somebody could have been
There's a
watching us.
structure. You can see that there are pillars on the corners that hold the whole tower together. But whatever is... And there are internal walls as well, for there are 4 great chimneys that reach up on the opposite end of this room, each of which is has a door before it. And 2 of the doors are smashed open and blown off their hinges. And you can see this column of rubble spills out from the doors that were there. The 3rd door is closed completely. It's another set of these metallic double doors. The 4th one, the sliding doors are slowly sliding open, and then one slides back into place, and then the other like slaps and then slam, slam, slam into the other. So it keeps opening and closing and opening and closing. And you can see as it opens up that once in a while you can hear this crackling energy coming from the column that resonates up it. The rest of this large room, you can see that there is a final chimney on the corner that has a spiral staircase going up and down as well. It's a large spiral staircase in one of the corners. It goes down one level and back up. It appears that those 4 chimneys might go along the entire length of the tower itself. And the rest of the room has, in the center, there is a large circular fountain and garden with this dead tree in the center of it that is floating on a pedestal of floating rock. It looks like it was once, like the rock and the roots were floating in the air, but the tree is dead now, and it's fallen down and collapsed, and the water has mostly evaporated. And then all surrounding the rest of this room are well-upholstered couches and a few tables and desks, and what look like to be several side areas where one could fix a drink or something like that. And then in front of the 4 chimneys with the doors in front of them, there's what looks like to be a very large bureau-style desk that's in a semicircle with a chair at it as well. And there are papers strewn all about. And you can see in many of the walls and here and there are robes and dust. About 3 pairs of robes of Amethyst Academy robes, and then there are just dust surrounding them. Welcome to the Amethyst Academy. This is where we're going to end for tonight.
Ooh. We made it.
We made it in. No problems.
Problems.
0 issues.
Zero issues. Other than the giant frog.
Can I ask about the walls? The walls on the outside, like it's glass, but what about the internal walls? Are they also like see-through?
They're made of marble.
Okay.
On the inside. Yep. So the internal walls that are around and it's very tastefully constructed. Like where the 4 chimneys are, there is this internal wall that picks up, and then on the corners of the building itself, there is internal walls, and then you'll see that there are very thin columns along the outside, but they wouldn't be supportive. There's the main pillars on the corners that support it, and the ceiling itself is vaulted up to a height of 40 feet.
Okay. New house.
It's a fixer-upper.
Kind of full of delirium right now, so we'll see. We'll see.
Cool. Well, a big thank you, as always, to our amazing cast, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, for playing this evening. And a big thank you to you for watching.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for working behind the scenes to manage the stream.
Yeah.
There's that beautiful arm. And a special thank you to our producer Clayton for keeping us all organized behind the scenes as well.
Oh, and a big shout out to Tabletop Audio. As always, they provide our ambient noise, or music, as some might call it. Noise, just sounds. It's just sounds and words. Check it out, tabletopaudio.com. It's a really great way to elevate your own game at home, and it's all free.
Be sure to check out our merch store with all the awesome Dungeon Dudes t-shirts. You can check them out at Teespring at the links below, as well as on YouTube on the shelf, or you can take a look at bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
If you're enjoying the stream and want to help support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
And if you do join the Patreon, don't forget to check out our amazing Discord channel where you can chat with us about all things D&D. You can chat with Monty about what's going to happen in this tower and what you think is going to kill us first. And yeah, you can chat with us just about whatever you like, really.
Whatever you like.
Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for DMs and guides for players. You'll also find prior episodes from this campaign available for your viewing pleasure there as well.
Be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes.
It's a good radio voice.
You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube.
And of course, we are now uploading Dungeons of Drakkenheim to the major podcast platforms like Apple
Yay.
Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play.
Yeah.
So if you want to take
Oh.
Drakkenheim with you for a listen, check it out on those platforms and download that onto your favorite smartphone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in the Dungeons of Drakkenheim.